Welcome to a very dark, cold, and extremely windy November night. And yet another night hunt here at the PBS. The potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show. You can barely see what remains of twilight back there, the zenith just behind me. It's going to be full dark here in about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a walk. In between wind gusts, I do hear things moving about. We're particularly interested tonight in our meadows. It used to be our upper fields, now they're meadows. They're well on their way to being reforested, and I have got a tale for you. Okay guys, I have reason to believe already we may be in for a treat tonight, and here's why. Because just like my phone did about a week ago on this night hunt, I just recorded about a minute's worth of footage that did not record. And I have an Apple iPhone 11s, less than a year old. It's right at a year old now. There's nothing wrong with this phone. But I was just showing. Do you hear that? Like I said earlier, in between big wind gusts, I'm hearing things moving about. See, some of my tree guards are getting knocked over by these heavy winds. These winds of November. Okay, so something may or may not be right here with us. You probably heard that. But they're playing with the phone again. I said the firewood's not covered because we're not expecting rain for some time. And let's get to it. I think we may already have company. All right, so here's what's going on. The purpose of this early night hunt, but definitely a night hunt. It's dark. Let me show you how dark it is without the flashlight. If I move the flashlight, I'm just going to shine it behind me. Look at that, pitch black. You can see the moon up there behind the trees starting to come out, and some odd light just flashed and there's no plane there. That was weird. Did you see that? Did you catch that flash of light in the treetops up there by the moon? It's the same direction in which I just heard footsteps after some trickster of sorts played some sort of prank on the phone and stopped it recording. All right, so here we go. You know, guys and girls, I'm only days away from completing Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 6, and the first story is called Winds of November, and it is November now as of this recording, and as you can hear, it is very windy. This is just what it is in November. This is what it's like. But here's our detached garage. Got a couple of old chicken coops out here, chicken pens. Used to have a lot of chickens until something around here started eating them, and it wasn't foxes, owls, and hoxes. Something actually undid the chicken pen one night. If you've been following the channel for a while, you remember this tale. You remember this event. Opened the thing, strangulated my rooster, murdered it to death, just murdered it to death, and then tied the thing shut again. So that took something that had thumbs. Okay? So anyway, I'm not going to tell you the entire story, but I'm going to tell you the part that's relevant. There's the moon again up there. There's some stars coming out now. I'm going to tell you the part that's relevant, the part that has inspired me to come out here tonight and check this meadow. All right? So, I grew up in a very rural area. Many of you watching these videos live in rural areas. Many of you live in the cities, though. And I never really had any experience. Keep watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep moving while I talk. I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to do slow scans. We're looking for large, dark figures. We're looking for eye shine. We're looking for anything out of the ordinary, and we are keeping our ears open as well. We're going to see if we can hear any more of those blood-curdling screams that we've been hearing here recently, okay? screams that are not human but don't sound like any indigenous animal known to this area, okay? And again, eye shine is huge. We don't want to walk right up on something that could be dangerous. All right, so now you keep watching and I'll tell the story, the part that's relevant. What I was saying is I never really had much experience with living in cities until I was almost middle-aged. Yeah, I lived in Mosul, a little city in Iraq with 5 million people in it. Then I would go on after that and spend time in the Philippines, mostly in the provinces. That means like the rural areas, but trust me, they're very, very loud. Different culture. There's tons of people. Even when you're out in the rural area over there, there's just people everywhere. A sea of humanity. And then, of course, I lived in Manila for 6 months. 26 million people in Manila. The population of Manila is equal to the population of New York City. But New York City is quite a bit larger as far as land space goes. So if you could imagine New York City and then double the congestion. It was something. 6 months living in those conditions. And it just got eerily quiet. That's the moon. That's not eye shine. That's the moon. Did you hear that? I heard like a squeak or a squeal. That's the moon again. That's not eye shine. It's the moon. All right, that was a pretty thorough scan. I'm going to keep moving. Got eerily silent. Thought I heard a squeal. Okay, so as you can imagine, once my family and I moved to the U.S., when we got here in Virginia from Manila, we were so relieved, I was at least, to get out here into the country, out into the middle of nowhere, where there were no honking horns, screaming fish vendors at 5 a.m., yelling, "Ista, Ista." That means fish in Visayan. It was just pure silence. Okay, we moved in here in September. No, that's just a leaf. That's just, I thought we had eye shine, but that's a leaf. We moved in here. You can see we're getting considerably away from the house. In September. And the first week, it was very difficult to sleep because it was so quiet. I was laying there, and we have a tin roof. Our house is 117 years old now. As the house cooled down at night, September, it's still super hot here in Central Virginia. As the tin roof cooled down, it would pop, loud bang. And of course, that would start me. I'm a very light sleeper. I do have PTSD. And so if a board cracks in the house, I wake up. It's sad, really, but I guess it's keeps my family safe. I'm very vigilant. I'm hyper vigilant, I guess, part of the condition. But after a few days, because I heard it first, tin roof popping, boards cracking, and that's when it occurred to me, OMG, I am so far out in the middle of nowhere. There's like nothing around here. If, there was bad guys out here, that could end up leading to a very bad situation. But then I remembered where I was, who I was, and I thought, yeah, that could end up with a very bad situation for the bad guys. So I chillaxed, and I got to sleep. By the end of that week, I was sleeping like a baby. Until November, and the winds of November that came with the new calendar month. And here's how it goes. As you know, you're familiar with this channel. You've seen the lay of my land. It's 6 acres, predominantly open field. All the properties around me are predominantly forested. Go down the road down there, over the hill, a couple hundred yards, and there's a sizable river. Okay, here's what wind is. The definition of wind is it's the result of the uneven heating of the Earth's surface. Again, wait a minute, I hear something. Oh, I heard footsteps right here. but there's nothing here. Let's do a quick scan before we continue. There's a heck of a gust whipping up. You hear that? It's a giant oak tree where our best old good buddy Jim Brown, that old rascal, met his demise about 117 years ago this past Halloween, matter of fact. What's that? What's that? What is it? We have eye shine. We have eye shine. Oh my God, there it is. Watch. It's behind those bushes. Okay, that up there is the stars. That's the treetops. That is a bush. Guys, that's a briar patch. It's about 7 feet tall. We definitely had eye shine right there behind that briar patch. There it is, see? Whatever that is, behind that briar patch. It's about 50 yards away. I had my very powerful tactical flashlight. There's something peering up above that bush. See it? Guys, oh, look at that. It's following the light. It moved. It's moving. It moved up into the woods. Did you see that? It just went that way. Oh, there it is. There it is. Guys, it was right behind that bush, and it's as we move up the hill. Listen, that's a star way up there. Okay, but the treetops are there. Whatever we're seeing here, that's an eye in the. Okay, see, it's gone. It was directly behind this bush, and it went up into the woods. Guys, we have company. It's in the field with us. Those bushes, I'm going to go stand by them. I'm going to make my way up there slowly, and I'm going to show you how tall those are. I'm almost 6 feet tall. They're taller than me. They're probably 7 feet tall. So whatever that was, it was sticking its head up above the bush. So it had to be 7 to 8 feet tall. That was not a fox. It wasn't a raccoon. It wasn't a possum, because they're not that tall. So I'm going to continue with my story as I slowly ease up to the bush where we just saw the eye shine. All right, so wind is created due to the uneven heating of the Earth's surface. So the water in that river would retain heat. The banks would retain heat. The surface of the ground everywhere retains heat, creates wind. There's nowhere for that wind to go on the surrounding properties because it's all treed and wooded. But then it gets here and ta-da, nothing but field. And as you can hear tonight during this video, that wind just whips up through here like crazy, catches a ride like a jump on a ramp, and goes up into the woods. So when November came around, we had these huge eaves on the windows of our house, and that wind would lift them and bang them down and slam them down. And once again, I'm jumping up out of bed, and I'm thinking, you know, somebody's upstairs in the house. So I grab a aluminum baseball bat I keep by the bed, among other things, crayons and whatnot. And I ran upstairs, and that's when I saw the eaves, you know, banging. I could see them through the window because we actually didn't have the blinds up on that upstairs bedrooms yet. Upstairs bedroom windows. So I'm laughing at myself, and we might be able to see from here. There's an upstairs window. I was looking at it. Now tonight, there's not much of a moon, just a sliver of moon. Okay, those are leaves. That's not eye shine. We're going to look for those eyes because I don't want to walk into something here. That's the listening contraption of the ultimate contraption there. Listening device. So anyway, there was a full moon that night. It was as bright out here as daytime. And there were no, you see here, we've got locust trees over 20 feet tall now, just in the last 4 years. And we're close to, here's the briar bush where we were seeing the eye shine. This meadow's grown up. There's thousands of trees in here. This was cut because the guy that used to take the hay, the annoying neighbor I ran off the crayon, he had recently taken the last cut he ever got, and he ever will, as long as my name's on the deed. Okay, so you could see everything through here like it was daytime. And I was looking out that window and I saw something large and dark move around our detached woodshed down there, right there. And I thought, am I seeing things? And so I stayed where I was, knowing that since I was several feet back from the window, anyone or anything outside would not be able to see me inside, but I could continue to see it. And sure enough, about 30 seconds later, I saw a large dark figure start creeping up through this field, ironically on a beeline with where we just saw the eye shine back here behind these bushes. Okay, and it stopped only about 50 yards up from the garage, and it looked back, and another one came with it. This was November 2016, so it's been 4 years ago now, okay? And this is the precursor of what I thought may or may not have been our first experience with the Bigfoot Sasquatch here, with the drone in the tree. This happened a full year before that happened, okay? So I didn't know what I was seeing, but they made their way all the way up here to the top of this hill and into the woods. And it's as if the winds of November brought something very strange and very mysterious with them. Now, I went back to bed and didn't think much about it, and it would be more than a year later before we had that incident with the drone. You know, we lost it up in the top of an 80-foot tall pine tree behind our house. And then the next morning had it laying at right outside our back door, only a step away from the door. Even though we have a roof going out on the back porch 20 feet in all directions from the door. No way the wind could have done that. All right, so anyway, we are now to the bushes, the briar patch, where we saw, guys, you saw it. I mean, rewind and watch again. You know, we caught it. We got something looked like glowing eye shine. Here's the bushes. I'm standing up. Look at this. There's my size 12 boot. I'm 5'10", and let me show you. You see me? Look at how tall these are. So this would be about 7 feet where my hand is, where the light is, and we saw eye shine about 7.5, 8 feet up. Okay, and the bushes. So let's look for tracks. Wow, this is definitely turning out to be more of an event, more of an experience than I thought. I'll make sure there's nothing in here. Look around here. The campground's just right up there. Make sure there's nothing creeping up on us or nothing hunkered down. All right, so let's, gosh, I wish there was some snow or something. I mean, I can tell the surface padded down here. You can tell things have been walking through here, but we have deer through here all the time. I mean, if you ever want to see deer at our place, you just look out the window and they're hanging out up here. Okay, so here's the back of this bush. This thicket, and I love these things. People are like, oh, that's just briars and brambles. You have no clue how healthy a meadow is for wildlife. Wait, what's that? There's another set of brambles over there. This thicket right there that you're looking at right behind that leafless sourwood tree, it's probably 20 feet by 30 feet. And man, inside you got rabbits. We had indigo buntings this year for the first time ever nesting in there. We've got so many beautiful birds we've never seen before, and it's because we're letting the meadow grow back up to reforest. Meadows play a very valuable part in the ecosystem. All right. So guys, we're gonna walk up to, look at this. Look at this. This is a locust tree. Every bit of 20 feet high. Wasn't even here 4 years ago. It's bigger around than my wrist. It's beautiful. And the deer tore it up its first year, and I thought it wasn't going to make it, but it's lived. Locusts, they're hard to kill. They're like weeds. So we're going to go up to where those two dark figures during that cold, dark, windy November night 4 years ago exited our property and into the woods, or exited our fields and into the woods, which ironically seemed to be the same place. We saw those eyes, those yellow glowing eyes go tonight here just minutes ago. Here we are, we've reached the campground. There's a tent. I keep saying I'm going to take that down, but you know, I went back and watched that video I made the other day when those guys were putting those trees in, and there was something back here behind the tent. Many of you saw it, you time-stamped it. This seems to be where the eyes went tonight. Did you see that? Eye shine. For just a minute. There, see? There it is. There it is. It's gone that way. There it is. It's going out. That means it's looking back at us. It's looking right at us. It's all the way on the other side of the meadow. It turned its head again. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's looking around. It's confused. It's gone. You hear that? You hear that? I'm hearing footsteps. What? Did you see that? It went behind that tree. Oh, there it is. Oh my God, there it is again. Oh, it's coming this way. Oh my God. Well, you know what they say, be careful what you go looking for, because you just might find it. Alright, so my take, when it was going behind that tree and then coming back around the other side, I didn't see any eye shine. It's as if it had no eyes. So I don't know if that was the same thing that we saw earlier. That's not eye shine back there. That's a light way, way over on the other side of the road. What was that? It was like, did you see it? It looked like a black blob, and it was moving behind the tree, and then it came out from behind the tree as we moved away, and it started coming towards us. My first thought was a bear, but bears have eye shine. If that would have been a bear, we would have seen, I was shining the light right at it, but it had nothing. No eye shine. You know, and we may or may not have recently had an experience with a wraith, potentially more than one. It kind of looked like that thing that came out from behind that tree in that video about a week ago, when I thought I was tracking, potentially, Bigfoot Sasquatch in the rain, but ended up discovering something much more ominous. Well, there's your story for the night. Good luck getting to sleep after that one. Had the visuals and everything to go along with it. So make sure to check back again tomorrow. Who knows what old Crazy Lake's going to be getting up to next. We still got a couple weeks in November. And listen, there's no wind now. It's like, it's crazy. See you for more next time to PBS. The potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show. Oh, hi, Cleopatra.